you're like, uh-oh, Chango.
Right.
Uh-oh, Chango. Yeah, Chango's really good.
Playing against FreeHops, who is a Sheik player.
Sheik player, not heard of them before.
Not too familiar.
But let's see if they've got the sauce. Chango has been playing for quite a long time. Very, been PR'd in Vancouver many, many times. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about him. I have not been following him ever since COVID started, basically.
Yeah,
Puff crouch, best move in the game.
this matchup is so funny because both of the characters are trying to tell each other that, like, they have it rough.
Yeah, they're like,
It's so true. Do you know how hard it is to grab a Puff when they crouch? What am I supposed to do?
you know how hard it is for Sheik?
And I know,
Flatten and I can't get him.
you're probably listening at home, and there's a percentage chance you don't play Space Animals or Fast Followers, so you're like, well, this isn't fair. And to that I say, yeah, it's not.
It's not. Life isn't fair,
I
bro.
play Falcon, so I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly.
I look
He's
at the
got
world
it.
through.
Slime's got it the worst.
A Falcon gets it. Dude,
Let him know. Let him know.
Thank you for giving me this platform. I'll keep it short. Every combo that ever happens on a Falcon is not cool. That's all I'm gonna ever say.
That's it.
That's all I'm ever gonna
built
say.
to get hit.
He
We'll leave it there.
is the punching. He is the sandbag. He's the punching bag of the game. And if you think you're cool when you do like another turnaround up tilt or something, you're not cool.
It's funny.
You're just wasting my time.
You laser turn around up tilt me again.
Just knock me off stage and get it over.
Hit me with the back air. Just come on.
I feel like I hear
Pick up
the
the
same
pace.
things from Link players, and I actually feel
You
bad.
have the
Link
same thing
players?
for
Yes,
every
and I
character.
actually feel bad for them when they say it. Not for Falcon players. Not for Falcon.
Link does get
Link players got it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Link players
Link
get
gets
it
fucked
the
up pretty
worst.
bad. But
You see him up the shit.
we're
You're
watching
like,
Link's girlfriend
Link's
play
girlfriend play
against
right
a gumball.
Gumball.
Hey, I don't know if they
A Kirby
canonically ever
lookalike.
went on a date.
That's
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? Like-
Look, I'm willing to give that. You know, I'm willing. Oh my God, why aren't you going for
I'll
this,
ship
Chango?
it. I'll ship it.
I'll be honest. Like,
Yeah, that's such a brave ship. Zelda and Link.
Yeah.
No,
Never
no.
before heard
This
of.
man wouldn't even commit to Rudo. I don't know why.
That's
That's
true.
the OTP. They're engaged, bro.
Well, she was a little pushy, is the thing.
I
Maybe he
mean,
was like, you know what?
that's-
He wants to go do
Look,
something.
Link
He
is
wants to go on
a-
his
Link is a
adventure, you know?
silent protagonist. He needs a pushy woman to do something. Like that's why Navi needs
That
to be there.
Puff's
Hey,
first
listen.
stock
Hey,
lasted
listen.
2.5
You need to go
minutes.
get.
I get what you're saying, and I think there's a lot there. Oh my God, you
Whiffs
can't
the
go for the
Ludwig.
delayed
Whiffs the
Ludwig on the
Ludwig,
platform. Come on, dealer.
I mean, I don't know how it works
Give me a queen.
physiologically, but I mean, it's a fantasy environment. They can make this.
With Navi?
No, with Rudo.
Whoa.
She's got, I mean, with not.
Now the ships are getting out of this world.
All
I
right.
feel like I've seen that shit more often than not.
Look, the
All right,
internet
well,
is a dangerous,
Shatna
dangerous
exposing
place.
themselves for spending a lot of time on DeviantArt and not paying attention.
Hey, man, I'm 34. That's what we had back
That's
then.
all I had.
You had to wait for your homie to draw the sickest thing. Now you can just go to a tournament and they're selling it
They're
right
just
out
selling
front.
Free pornography, yeah.
Oh,
It's a
man.
huge market.
It
And
is.
almost every major I go to.
It is a market.
It's a market.
How do they not get copyright struck? Like how does Nintendo
Because
not
it
come out and
costs,
be like,
costs
I
a
can't-
shitload of money for them to fucking go and say to this booth vendor who's like, hey, stop selling this art. What are you kidding me?
Stop
You-
drawing
You're
these
telling me
alludes in my
Doug Bowser
character.
doesn't have the ability to go be like, hey, Titty Bowser,
It'd be
not cool.
No, he
so
doesn't.
hard.
Because
He has
they
to find
they
every
would
single person that draws Titty Bowser.
they would look at the financial statement at the end of that and be like, why are we wasting money on this? Like, what's the return?
Well,
Here,
you-
the legal system in this country is kneecapped and capped by all things have to do with how expensive lawyers are. All
Yes.
right. So if it's not worth the time, you can get away with drawing Titty Bowser. That's all I'm saying. Oh. Doesn't go for the rest. We got the chain out. This shit's getting crazy. It's 4 minutes. We're on pace for a timeout by math alone.
By math,
Yes,
but
yeah.
really only by math.
A stock a minute.
Both of these players giving and taking the lead so rapidly that I have no idea who's going to win.
Well, in a world where a timeout may
playing
be inevitable, doesn't lowering the time make sense?
Are you one of those truthers?
That
I'm
just
a truther.
guarantees the
I'm
timeout.
just going to
Now,
slide that card across
I'm-
the table there.
I'm fine with it. I
To
mean,
what, 7 minutes?
No.
What?
That's negligible.
No.
It's got to be.
No.
What's Connor
we're
Kelly's
going deep, bro.
3 stocks, 4 minutes, or
3 stocks, 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's the
That-
Connor Kelly.
The Condor Kelly
That is
special?
that is
Yeah.
the logistics option.
He's been begging me to run that ass for a hot minute now.
He wants his market
He
research.
needs it. Ooh, needs to be tested somewhere. I might do it. Pays me.
Chango gets a free one.
Connor Kelly got to get me out of the red first.
All those asses,
All those
they add
asses.
up.
Yeah. I mean, do you know how hard that power bill gets? I mean, running 12 Wii's.
It actually is. I
12
remember
Vs for 3 hours.
the house that we used to
Like
host a
$12.
fest in for every week in back in when the boys were in college and stuff like that, like the Nick and them. The power bill did get crazy.
Yeah.
It was like 7 CRTs. It's not even a lot, you know.
Just you leave them running, and it's like
People
Yeah.
playing till 3 in the morning or whatever.
People are like, oh, let's go get food, and they just leave
leave
it
it
on.
on.
It adds up.
Oh yeah, and that thing's draining.
All right. Well, FreeHops definitely has a shot here. Chango has been what felt like in the lead for a lot of time, but it's been pretty close. Also, most of the stocks, all the stocks taken from FreeHops have been edge guards, which is kind of funny because it does help highlight how shit Sheik's recovery is in this matchup. She was just going straight up and then falling straight down.
Got no option.
Scary. Good ledge dash.
But FreeHops looking for like needle grab, right?
Looking for any percent that they can get. They need to tack something.
Right.
Forward air is not going to kill for a minute. They just need to tack on percent until they can get themselves into a situation where they can get an aerial out.
Right. But they've got to be using options that are going to keep them
like
far
the,
away
like
enough.
the needles, but Chango's not giving them an angle to be hit with the needles. You can't jump above and just throw it.
No.
Chango's just going to wave dash back. He's going to hold his shield.
I appreciate
the corner.
that
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
if you
Puff
can
players
recover
are
this.
just not, like, there's no shame
Maybe if you
anymore.
upbeat a little bit later, he might have been able to get on the stage.
Yeah, but then you just get arrested.
And then you just get rested.
There's
from
a
that.
longer cutscene.
Yeah, yep. But it would have further highlighted the dog shit recovery that Sheik has to deal with here. Imagine up being from that far away, making it to stage against all odds just to get rested immediately.
You know what's fun about our game is like in fighting games, for instance, Mortal Kombat. Like their cutscenes, legitimately.
Quite legitimately, yeah.
Like take your hand off the controller, but in ours, our cutscenes are interactive.
Well,
Okay.
So,
NRS
interesting point. There's actually been a lot of introductions into fighting games recently that allow you to interact during combos. Breaker systems, for instance. Like in Mortal Kombat 11, you can spend 1 bar of your defensive meter and get out of a combo. That very well may put you into an okie position, but if your competitor doesn't expect it, then you can definitely take advantage of it. Killer Instinct popularized the counter breaker long before Melee even existed.
Well, I'm talking about critical arts.
Oh.
I'm talking about literal cutscenes.
literally, like-
I thought you were just talking
But
like long
I do
combos.
know what you're saying.
Yes.
Ooh, up tilt rest. This is looking
Chango wants this game
shit
to go
for FreeHops
faster.
right now.
Chango wants this game to go faster. He's like, I was way too low. I can do better. I can be quicker.
I will concede that.
Do you watch K&M?
Yeah.
I love that
love
channel.
K&M, dude.
Those guys are cool. Actually, I remember I interviewed them for the Mortal Kombat Summit we did.
Oh, awesome.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
They're cool. But I watched the YouTube content's really good. It's basically like the competitive history of like Rain.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is cool. I fucking played Mortal Kombat as a little kid. I'll watch this shit.
Yeah. It's funny. You're the only other person I've heard that watches that. I know other people watch them, but I don't necessarily reach out and talk to people about it because they're all fucking Melee nerds.
All right, Chango putting a bow on it. FreeHops searching, digging deep.
Hunting.
Find it, find it, find it.
Reverse fair?
We don't find it.
I thought that was, yeah.
There's cutscene. But you have to press down B.
You do.
And that's fun.
You do.
It's like Resident Evil 4.
Right. That's not even a
I mean,
cutscene at that point. It's a quick time event.
Quick time event, yeah.
And it's like the player that gets rested gets to decide whether or not it's a quick time event. It's if you push a holding button, get start KO'd like that, you want the cutscene to come out. You're intentionally like, yeah, I want to rest for a minute. I want to chill out.
You're an FGC old head,
Yes.
37-year-old man.
Yes.
What? So I remember Leffen was getting really mad once, and I think justifiably about
Tekken?
everyone was well, no.
He doesn't play that.
Well,
No,
everyone,
he did.
Everyone
Oh,
kept
that's play
saying
Strike.
option select in
Yeah.
Melee
Oh,
and misusing the turn.
Yes, yes.
Can you, right here on the record, explain what option select is and why people misuse it?
Doesn't
So-
really work in Melee, but yeah.
Well,
Go for
so
it.
so in the context in which people use it in Melee, like I understand that's.
Oh, he just goes for it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries.
Don't mind me.
So a real option select is usually when you're in a situation in a fighting game where you do a set
Motion
series of inputs, regardless of what.
Motion
I mean,
input.
it might be,
Yeah, yeah.
or you're just crouch teching, for instance.
Yeah.
You're putting in the same input based on 2 or more potential options, and depending on what the opponent does,
different
what your
options will come
attack
out.
is going to be different based on the interaction on the other character. Whereas in Melee, we use option select to be like, oh, well,
covered
he
3
could have
different
covered 3 recovery
Which
options.
is just coverage.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's just coverage.
Got it.
That's what a lot of people conflate the two together and for Melee. In FGCs, it's you push 2 buttons, depending on what the opponent does to you, you'll get 2 different outputs.
Exactly.
So it's funny because the person, quote unquote, choosing the option is the opponent.
Yes, but
Because it matters to what they're doing. So
If
like
it-
technically they're choosing the option that
yes,
That's
right.
normally
Right.
it's in a state where the option selector will be put in an advantaged state. So it's like
yeah.
they're not really picking.
Exactly.
I get
they
it, though.
fucked up
It's
already.
colloquial.
Right.
They made their mistake. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And that's why, like, the OS, the Momochi OS at the end of USF4 was so broken. Was like he just gets a free